Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Softcore History. I'm your host for the week, Regester, joined as always by Robert Fox.
What is going on?
What's up, man?
I got a little angry about history today.
What happened?
We were at some church, not a Catholic one, and the preacher guy at one point, he is just kind of like an aside. He was just talking about how great God is and everything. Fine, sure. And he goes, I mean, think about God. Think about a slingshot in the hands of a child. It's a toy. In the hands of God, it's a powerful weapon. And I was just sitting there and I was like, do you think that David had a Bart Simpson slingshot?
Yes.
Is that
That's how I imagine it.
what you just told me? And I said that to my wife afterwards, and she was like, whoa, is it not? I was like, a sling was a very normal battlefield weapon. It's not a slingshot. It's just whip it around and throw a rock. Extremely effective, definitely deadly. Like, what? Actually, I think, who's the dude, the weird-looking guy that Bill Simmons loves, who does all kinds of, like, Moneyball shit, like, Freakonomics shit?
Gladwell?
Yeah, Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote a whole thing on how David definitely had the advantage. He had a ranged weapon while a lumbering, disabled man.
A doofus, really.
Yeah, it was just like...
Just a total oaf.
Yeah, like...
Goliath.
Essentially, like, David shot a handicapped man with a gun.
Point blank.
Yeah. But he was like, Gladwell was like, no, David should have been the favorite in that fight.
And then if you read the Gnostic text, I believe he also killed Goliath's brothers with the same sling.
Hell yeah.
So I think like 4 or 5 giants.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, man.
The Nephilims.
In like Rome Total War, slingers, they'll fuck you up. Those slinger units, god damn it, they will mow you down. So I'm just sitting here knowing more about a Bible story because I played Rome Total War than the guy whose fucking life it is to do that. I was just hot.
Well, it's funny enough you're gatekeeping religion with this episode today.
I'm not gatekeeping it, but I was just like, come on.
And you're going to be really pumped for this episode. This is going to get you fired up.
All right, let's do it. I need some adrenaline. I've been in a fucking fog all day. I don't know if I'm like a little hungover. I know allergies are playing a part. I probably shouldn't have stayed up till 2 a.m. last night. That was a huge mistake.
I don't need your whole backstory, brother.
I'm just telling you where I'm at mentally. So yeah, light the fire. Because I've been cold all day.
Louis Charles Levin was born on November 10th, 1808 in Charleston, South Carolina, to Jewish parents who immigrated from England. Charleston was then home to about 700 Jews, which was enough to make it the largest Jewish community in the United States at that time.
And this is, you said early 1800s?
1808.
Okay, so it's America at this point.
He spent 2 years in Columbia, attending college at what is now the University of South Carolina, and running a dry goods store on the side.
Extremely impressed. I don't know what the laws were like or whatever back then. Extremely impressed that a Jewish man got into a Southern university in 18 whatever.
He's a complicated cat.
Yeah. I assume he's not Orthodox, right?
No.
Yeah, he's just like a normal Jewish guy.
He left school without a degree and became a headmaster at a school he started in Cincinnati, Ohio, and then a year later in Woodville, Mississippi.
This guy just loves humidity.
When he opened his Woodville school, Levin advertised it by disparaging other schools.
Hell, that's how you gotta do it.
He loved confrontation, both with his words and fist.
Oh, he's a fighter. A little scrapper.
After being accused of plagiarism of a lecture by his business partner at the school, Alfred Bynum, the two settled a score with a rifle duel.
Rifles? Would it be funny if, like, I don't know how it worked, but it'd be funny if it's like same range as a pistol duel. It's like 10 paces.
There's not a ton of information on this.
What year is this?
1820s.
Okay, well, I'm just wondering. I ask because you said rifle duel, but I'm wondering if it's a smooth bore or if it's actually rifled. Because if it's actually rifled, like, you could pop a motherfucker, like a Civil War musket was rifled, right? It was not smooth bore. You could pop someone from, 200 yards. You can get someone.
Again, not a ton of details on this, but Bynum seriously wounded the hot-headed Hebrew, and Leven was forced to leave town in shame.
Yep, that'll do it.
Didn't die, though. Left with his life.
Yeah, I mean, they did have rifles back then, too, by the way. Like at the Battle of New Orleans, I think the Kentuckians were notably had rifled muskets, but yeah.
Leven bounced around from Vicksburg to Nashville and then Baltimore. Along the way, he called himself L.C. Leven, Esquire, and practiced law, though it seems evident that he never received any formal education or passed the bar.
I don't think that mattered.
It didn't. You just did whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
He started a school. He was a headmaster, did not have a degree.
No. You just say what you are back then.
Mm-hmm. It's a better time, really.
Yeah. I identify as a lawyer.
Well, you kind of do it now. I'm a journalist.
Yes. A lot of people identify as journalists these days.
Doesn't matter that I went to school now.
Yeah. No. I am an independent journalist.
He was described as good-looking and articulate. Alexander Stephens, later the vice president of the Confederacy, said, "I have been so fortunate as to hear perhaps the greatest of the public men of my own time. I have listened to the masterly speeches of Webster, Clay, and Calhoun, your boy,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and many others, but for genuine eloquence, Louis C. Leven had no peer."
Damn. Was
So-
Levin a big Confederate?
Smooth-talking guy.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get to what he is.
Okay.
One of the greatest mysteries about Leven is his religious identity. Though he never hid the fact that he was a proud Jew and remained in contact with the community in Charleston, he was wed by an Episcopal priest and then again by a Protestant clergyman 2 years later when he was remarried after the death of his first Gentile wife.
Well, the family is not going to be down for a Jewish wedding. What's he supposed to do?
By marrying outside the faith, Leven likely distanced himself from the Charleston community. And whether or not he formally converted to Christianity is a mystery altogether, but Leven surrounded himself with Protestants and spoke and wrote as they did.
I mean, surrounded himself with Protestants. It's not like there's a huge Jewish population in fucking antebellum South.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just...
But he's going to become a mouthpiece for the Protestants against one specific group.
Oh,
and
boy.
We're going to get to that.
I'm guessing who it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is why you're going to like this episode.
Yo, Catholic hate is back.
Don't spoil it.
The longtime listeners already are clued into what we're talking about.
Well, there's a specific group of Catholic hate, too.
Okay.
He disappeared from the Baltimore City Directory and pops back up in Philadelphia. So, local guy for me.
Yeah, go Flyers.
Philadelphia newspapers announced his application for state bankruptcy protection, and the following year, Leven applied for federal bankruptcy, all when he gets to Philly.
Okay. Sure.
So this is how we document that this is his arrival in Philadelphia.
That he's there. Yeah. I heard Philadelphia is a great town to be bankrupt in.
Certainly.
Bankruptcy back then's got to be funny too, because the whole point is once you file for bankruptcy, your debts are relieved, but also your credit's fucked for a decade. But how would they know? How would anyone know that you filed for bankruptcy?
This is a guy that was practicing law
Yeah.
on a just trust me bro degree.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. It's like a doctor back then. You know what I mean?
In 1834, he was indicted for an attempted murder. And in 1836, he may have drawn a Bowie knife and stabbed lawyer Henry Stump.
He got out lawyered. That's the problem.
Well, nothing came of either incident. So maybe he lawyered for himself.
Yeah, well, that's why he killed that lawyer. That one lawyer out-lawyered him. He's like Charlie Day talking about bird law.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can't take it anymore. Stabbed him. But then he clearly beat, whatever lawyers were prosecuting him.
I guess this might have caused his reformation because he suddenly goes from a heavy drinker to riding for prohibition.
Boo!
Mm-hmm.
It's all adding up.
By 1838, Leven was given public lectures on the evils of alcohol and founded and edited something called the Temperance Advocate and Literary Repository, a bi-weekly anti-drinking journal.
Get a life. What a nightmare. That would be fun though, especially back then, because your entire journal could just be a police blotter of all the horrible things people did when they were shit-faced.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's endless content.
He's like, I've been on the other side of that bar stool.
No zealot like a convert. He's like, now I'm addicted to sobriety.
His speeches were, I guess, incredibly captivating because he would bounce around from town to town in Pennsylvania and New York and attract thousands.
Not much else to do.
1842, he staged an immense public bonfire of booze to draw attention to his campaign against taverns and for local control of liquor licensing.
That thing had to be a bomb.
It was, yeah.
Like literally.
What
Also,
a waste.
We've done the show enough, and I've read old news enough and stuff like that. That speaking was a very common thing, right? We always thought like guys going around having speaking engagements and people showing up at whatever little like meeting hall their town is. Like, oh, this person's in town to give a speech, to talk, to have like lecture tours and stuff like that. That's just like a shit don't change thing for me. Like, that's just a podcast. You're just going to listen to a live podcast.
We'll be taking no questions.
Yeah, it's not art. You're just listening to a guy fucking talk about some topic of the day.
Isn't that what you did today when you went to church?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't get to have a back and forth with the priest.
I wanted to. I wanted to stand up.
You should have.
And be like, a sling
You're a
is
coward.
a normal fucking weapon of war. He's not Bart Simpson. King David is not Bart Simpson.
In 1843, he was hired as editor of Philadelphia's Daily Sun. His friends that more or less installed him expected Leven to keep temperance as his major theme of the paper, but he soon found a new cause: anti-Catholicism.
The people drinking it.
And really, straight up racism against the Irish.
I mean, I knew this is where this was going. Look, he converts to Protestantism, gets sober. It's 1800s America. It's only a matter of not even time, seconds, before you look at an Irishman and you're like, fuck no. No.
Yeah.
Is this why you sent that text earlier about Bill the Butcher?
Yes.
Were you watching Gangs in New York?
I was watching Gangs in New York to prepare for this. Exactly. I just want to hear more Bill the Butcher out of you.
Amsterdam. That's all I got.
Initially, the main issue was an 1843 public school rule permitting Catholic children to be excused from Bible reading classes because the Protestant King James Version was being used.
In public schools.
Yes.
In public schools.
So they got to sit out of class.
Yeah.
But he was eventually locked in on the chief target, Daniel O'Connell, the Irish patriot who had successfully championed Catholic emancipation in the UK in 1829 and finally allowed Catholics to hold public office.
Yeah, it took until around that time. It's really funny. People forget, Catholics were either illegal or at best second-class citizens in England until they... I think England abolished slavery before they...
But the Irish
Catholics
do anything?
Do anything again.
Leven, of course, saw a dark conspiracy.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, he was a podcaster.
Yeah, full on. This guy's a podcaster. Think about it too. He's like life improvement, Hey guys, this is the way you gotta live healthy. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. There's a secret cabal of globalists who are,
Yeah, he's the manosphere that ironically rally against the Jews.
Right. Yeah. And he's a hothead. Hard ass. Likes to get in fights.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, maybe there's a sliver of clavicular in him as well.
Looks maxing?
Was he looks maxing?
I don't know if he was getting surgery on his jaw.
Yeah, well, he was hot, at least.
Do you find clavicular to be hot?
He's a good-looking guy. I got an argument with Ryan about that the other day. He was like, he's not, I'm like, he's a handsome guy. I don't know, what's even the argument there? I'm not saying he's the hottest guy in the world. He's not Brad Pitt and Meet Joe Black, but
that's like his whole shtick.
Yeah, I understand that. He thinks he's like the most attractive guy ever. He's not, but he is handsome. Like, he's a good-looking guy. Like, I don't. Anyone that says that's not true is just like a lot. Like, you can reasonably say that this guy sucks. He's like not the hottest guy in the world, and still be like, but yeah, he's like a good-looking guy. He's just insane.
Leven warned in November of 1843 that the Irish engine would pollute our ballot boxes and light the flame of civil war in the United States.
Yeah, it was us. It's our fault. I mean, I'm always down for a Pope, puppeteering the American Civil War. It's Irish on both sides of it.
These are his words. This now appears to us to be the genuine character of Irish repeal, a torch of discord flung among the American people to subjugate our independence, to establish the supremacy of the papal church.
Yeah. Yeah. The papacy, the papal states, which have not been able to project power for like 400 years at that point, are ready and willing to go and take over the United States. Like we had already basically transitioned into a modern papacy at that point. There's no popes doing anything like that. Like even what year is this? Probably the 1830s or something like that.
It's like 1843.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is Napoleon cucked the Pope, because normally emperors would go to Rome to get crowned of Catholic nations, and Napoleon was like, "No, bitch, you're coming to me," and he made the Pope come, and the Pope came.
Oh, dude, the Pope came so hard
and crowned him in France. Absolutely, just emasculated the Pope.
Which Pope was it?
I don't know.
That's fine. You don't have to look it up.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't know if you just knew off the top of your head.
No, I should, but I mean, we'll just say Leo or Benedict. Those are very common ones. Maybe an innocent.
Leven soon concluded that the Irish immigrants, remind me if you've heard this before, were themselves a threat to American democracy.
Oh. Huh.
Whether as knowing conspirators or unwitting dupes of O'Connell.
Yep. Yeah, they're going to be activated. Our religion doesn't fit with American ideals. We're secretly trying to take over everything.
New York City specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just look for the patterns. Just look for the patterns.
History doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes.
Yeah. This is really just repeating itself, though.
Just all the notes.
Yeah. Which is not to say...
They sleep on the Irish being persecuted, and I'm tired of it.
Oh, you know who didn't?
I want my reparations, damn it.
We got folded into wokeness the other day. Did you see Mamdani's St. Patrick's Day speech?
No.
Because obviously it's a huge thing in New York. He essentially, he gave us the highest praise that a socialist could give, which is, you guys were some of the first people to be colonized, and everything England did to the rest of the world, they refined and perfected on the Irish.
Yeah, we didn't leave. We're like the only whites that didn't leave their borders.
But he has such a high...
Until we absolutely needed to because of a famine.
Well, like the 9th famine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just such high praise from a far left person. Hey, you're a victim too. Meanwhile, Irish people, probably every Irish dude in fucking New York is like, fuck that fucking queer. I'm shit-faced drunk. Go Rangers.
He joined a growing nativist movement whose stated goal was not to restrict immigration directly, but rather to deny citizenship and suffrage to immigrants until they had resided at least 21 years in the United States.
That's a lot. But I mean, we do have what was the version at the time? Was there fucking any? Guys, I mean, look, a lot of my history here is just based off of gangs in New York, and they were getting off the boat. To be fair, they would get off the boat and get registered. There would be New York politicians there just signing them up, either for the fucking war or for voting.
For voting. Stuff those ballots, baby.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's funny when people say elections are rigged now. They actually used to be pretty fucked with hard.
I feel like they always have been.
Always. I mean, it's harder than ever to fuck with an election.
In New York City, like-minded nativists had formed a new party, the American Republicans, to challenge the existing Whigs and Democrats. But both there and in Philadelphia, American Republicans fused nativism and anti-Catholicism. And like you mentioned, Gangs of New York, Bill the Butcher in Gangs of New York is the nativist.
Yeah. Even though he still is very much he just surrounds himself with Irish dudes.
Mm-hmm.
They're everywhere.
Once Leo grows up.
Yeah. But he's still a nativist then, too. I think he's just at that point kind of knows.
accepting.
There's just like, you can't. It's just too many of them.
You're being outnumbered.
Yeah.
You got to have a couple in the fold.
Yeah.
When an American Republican won election as New York's mayor in April of 1844, Leven claimed, "Nobly have the people of New York met the crisis. They organized their strength on the true principle of opposition to foreign interference."
And this is not, by the way, the Republican Party, because the Whigs are still around, which means the Republicans are not there yet. This is just another name with Republican in it.
Yeah, it's kind of its own little subsect.
Thing that died off. Probably a regional party, if anything. I don't think it ever got national.
On Monday, May 6, 1844, Leven was scheduled to speak at a nativist rally. This one in the 3rd Ward of Kensington, which housed the county's largest concentration of Irish Catholic immigrants.
Oh, boy.
Times have changed. Kensington's a tough scene these days.
Oh, yeah.
It's where all the homeless zombies are.
The
on Trank.
The Fent and Trank people. That is the most impressive thing about those drugs is how it just like, I guess it just like rigor mortises your legs. Like, I don't understand how they're standing.
Just doing the Mortal Kombat fatality dance.
Yeah.
The rally, held in a vacant lot, attracted a large number of hecklers, some of whom had shut down the nativist first effort at a rally the previous Friday. They also protested the Monday meeting, with one of them going as far as to dump a wagon load of dirt in front of the nativist stage. But everything proceeded peacefully for an hour.
I wish I could, like that, the Gangs of New York soundtrack is like so bizarre. It's awesome, but it's so weird. Like,
yeah, Scorsese in those early fight scenes with just kind of the motion blur and the way he shot it, I feel like he would take that back.
It's interesting.
It's not. It was a phase in the early 2000s that a lot of movies used, and it doesn't hold up well. It stinks, actually. It's really bad.
It is like...
It ruins what could be an epic scene.
It is a lot of bizarre camera movement. Yeah.
That was big back then, though. He just fell for the fad.
Yeah.
It's like, you're Scorsese. You don't have to do this.
Right. At worst case scenario, just shoot it like Spielberg. Just do a fucking D-Day. You know, handheld, going through the fight. Like the second best handheld or whatever POV that I've ever seen in a battle is that like fucking tracking shot for like 4 minutes or something where Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards, where he's just like going through. I mean, that was fucking incredible. Do that.
Technically, 1917 is all one shot.
I'm not a big 1917 guy.
Oh, I like 1917.
There's also like almost no combat in 1917.
There's plenty of combat.
No, there's fighting. There's like them like shooting at 2 other guys, but there's no. The only battle scene is at the end, and it's not really combat. It's just them running out of a trench.
Yeah.
I was disappointed.
Okay.
I was disappointed in that movie.
It's a great movie.
It's fine.
A sudden storm blew in, and nativists dashed to the nearest shelter, a covered market less than 100 yards away. There, for some reason, Leven just tried to resume his speech. But there's one problem. The market was filled to the brim with mix.
Let's go. It was a potato market. Can't do it there.
A brawl broke out and then spiraled into a full-fledged riot that lasted 3 days.
Hell yeah.
By the end, at least 9 people were dead from gunfire, and 2 Catholic churches, St. Michael and St. Augustine, were laid in ash, along with the homes of hundreds of Irish immigrants in the area.
God damn, they burned down 2 churches? Oh, does this story move to New York at all?
No.
Okay.
This is all Philly.
Okay. So there is I will say this real quick. I actually have a similar story on my list that partly was inspired by these riots because they were burning down churches in Philly. The Archbishop of New York at the same time, because it was spreading to New York, and they're like, yeah, let's go burn down some fucking Catholic churches. The Archbishop of New York like marshaled every Catholic man in town to defend the churches, and he's like, if you come for these churches, we will murder you.
Oh, well, he's following suit to what happens in this story.
Oh, yeah. They called him like, the bishop was called like the Blade or something weird like that.
Okay. Well, it's all inspired by what happens next.
Okay.
When the violence first erupted, Leven fled to the safety of downtown Philadelphia, leaving younger men to do his fighting.
Well, he already took a rifle bullet at point blank range to the hip or chest or something.
He ignited this fire and was just like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, go do it. Go get those Catholics. I can't go fight. I got to talk more.
Following the destruction of 2 churches, the pastor of St. Philip de Neri and his brother recruited Catholic volunteers and assembled an arsenal of weapons that included state-issued muskets, privately purchased firearms, and pikes made of bayonets mounted on brush handles.
Hell yeah. They're forming, it's an Irish phalanx.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for them to hold formation, though. They're very drunk.
We're usually an unorganized group.
Yeah.
Creative, but unorganized.
There's a reason the British...
Not reliable.
There's a reason the English were able to test out all their colonialism on us. We were a soft target.
On Friday, July 5th, 1844, the church's Protestant neighbors realized what was happening, and they demanded to search the building for weapons. Fearful of a third church burning, the county sheriff allowed them in, then called for military aid.
Get the fucking National Guard. Before a little mini civil war breaks out, basically.
On Saturday evening, a mixed force of soldiers and civilians arrested around 24 members of a crowd and confined them in the church basement. So by the morning of Sunday, July 7th, the church was held by members of 3 militia companies of Irish Catholic immigrants, also just like normal troops, and they had a bunch of Protestant prisoners in the church.
Oh boy. I feel like this isn't going to end great.
No. The presence of Catholic troops occupying a Catholic church and holding Protestant prisoners awoke every anti-Catholic nightmare. Speaking to the Greens commander through a shattered church door, Leven negotiated what he thought was a reasonable deal. The Greens would march out, and the crowd would leave them in peace. Leven also promised to protect the church.
Okay.
But Levin's deal fell apart within minutes.
You call somebody a Mick? Papist?
By the time the troops reached the nearest intersection, they were starting to be stoned by men who had either not heard the terms of the deal or not agreed to them.
Yeah, they weren't on the group chat. It's the problem, you know.
So the Greens fired in self-defense, and a shit show breaks out.
Like a literal battle. It's almost like it's almost like Black Hawk Down. They're just running through a hostile city. Like dudes just popping up on every roof, just ready to go.
Yeah.
Were all the Irish just in Kensington, pretty much, or?
It was a large Irish contingency, but there was a bunch in Philly.
Yeah, Philly's a very Catholic town,
Mm-hmm.
extremely. I would put it as a top 5 Catholic city, right?
No
It's gotta
shit.
be. It's got to be.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably more dudes in Philly with Notre Dame tattoos than guys that actually went to Notre Dame.
Well, that's obviously. I mean, Shane Gillis is prime example.
He's not from Philly, though. He's from, central PA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he was from, outer suburbs.
No. He's, closer to Harrisburg.
Oh, wow. Boo.
He just did comedy in Philly.
Yeah. And, is a Philly sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
At least a Phillies fan. Yeah. I mean, off the top of my head, I feel like it would be New York,
Boston.
Philly.
St. Louis.
St. Louis is a huge one. And then either LA or Chicago.
Chicago.
I mean, it's just a lot of Mexicans in LA.
Are you just calling us Mexicans?
The Irish are the original Mexicans.
Yeah. We didn't make it that far west because we're not a, determined people.
We were just happy. We just got to land.
Yeah, once we got to a city, we're like, all right, this is where we're going to set up
thank
shop
God.
for the next
15
15 generations.
We forgot about the other great Catholic city.
Which is?
New Orleans.
New Orleans, but also Savannah.
Yeah, but Savannah's small. New Orleans is a proper city.
We built New Orleans on Irish bones.
We did. I mean, New Orleans was made by Catholics, right? That wasn't fucking Americans didn't do that. You didn't build that.
Leven watched helplessly as the mob ransacked a church.
All right, real quick before we keep going, we do have some ads. First up is PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use the code SOFTCORE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code SOFTCORE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, a preferred partner of the NBA. Let's talk about the NBA. So PrizePicks is a blast because you can make these lineups and you basically pick, like, is this player going to have more or less of whatever statistic, right? The NBA playoffs are going on right now. It is the best part of the NBA season because the NBA regular season's kind of whatever. I do like watching the stars play, but I mean, the games are kind of meaningless, but not in the playoffs, baby. And right now, you can pick more or less on all the players in the NBA playoffs pretty much. And look, man, if you're going to start picking mores, you start with Jokic. He's playing the Timberwolves, and it's a heated series. He's got to be on his game. Jokic not taking time off, not chilling. He's going to stack points, stack rebounds, stack assists. In game 2, his assists is set at 7.5. Take the more on that. He averaged a triple-double for the season. So if you see assists or rebounds under double figures, you freaking take the more every time. I don't even see his rebound. Where's his rebounds? I don't see what Joke 10.5 rebounds. I'm fine with that. He's getting 11 or more than, he's absolutely. And you can build from there, I mean, you've got a lot of great players in that series alone. Anthony Edwards, 26.5 points. You can pick more or less on that. I always just lean the Stars to get more for the most part. When what they're best at, and Edwards is a scorer first. He's not really a triple-double threat like Jokic is. But you can do all that with all those games. You can do it with baseball too. You can even mix and match lineups across sports. So if you just pick, I think Jokic is going to have more than 7.5 assists, and I think that, Paul Skeens is going to have more than 7 strikeouts, whatever. You can pick all that, stack it together, and there's a couple different ways to play it. One thing that's really cool is you can get early payouts. So PrizePicks now has early payouts. If a player gets off to a hot start, you can cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. And then there's flex play and power play. So flex play, you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. But the biggest payouts go for the power play. That's when you got to hit all of them. But again, you just got to choose what you know. I like Jokic more than 7.5 assists. Absolutely. He averaged a triple-double. And then PrizePicks also offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So again, if you like Jokic for more on rebounds, Jokic for more on assists, Jokic for more on points, I think I saw it at like 28.5 or something like that, you could put him in 3 times. 3 different times. Do it. That man is a machine. So those are really cool too. And again, you can pick all of them in the same lineup. PrizePicks is an absolute blast. You can pick live squares during the NBA playoffs, and you could win a trip for 2 to the NBA Finals in the 2026 NBA Finals sweepstakes, the Do It Live 2026 NBA Finals sweepstakes. To enter, you just make a $5 lineup with at least one live NBA player pick during any part of the 2026 NBA playoffs. Live player picks or picks made after a game is already in progress. So if you do that, you are entered to win a trip for 2 to the NBA Finals. It's awesome. Highly recommend checking it out. There's no better way to cash in on the high-flying hoops action than PrizePicks, a preferred partner of the NBA. Every bucket, every dime, and every win means more when you're playing on PrizePicks, so don't pass up your next shot with PrizePicks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 with the code SOFTCORE. Again, download the PrizePicks app today. Use the code SOFTCORE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code SOFTCORE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, a preferred partner of the NBA.
American troops were called in when nativist mobs broke out in Southwark, and that lasted until dawn and left 2 soldiers and 11 civilians dead.
Shit. Now, what year is this again?
1844.
Okay, I was just wondering if it's like some Mexican war veteran who's just like still in a unit. You know what I mean? Like they just got back from Mexico and now they gotta fucking put down a bunch of random Irish dudes.
Going against the Protestants, too.
Yeah.
The troops are just coming in to smash.
Yeah. Which is also one of my favorite parts of Gangs New York.
At the end.
where they just kill everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like prisoners, the mob's not taking prisoners. Put the mob down.
Imagine if that happened today.
It would be
Because that's based on the draft day riots, right?
the New York draft riots, yeah. Oh, they fucking fucked people up. Like, absolutely. The soldiers did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, and the draft riots were insane.
Yeah, that happened not that long ago.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. I think the when the black dude in Gangs of New York gets killed in the draft riots, Scorsese based that like directly on an actual like not picture but like drawing from the New York papers at the time of a black dude like strung up on a light post or whatever. I also like one of my favorite parts in that is like they're one of the old rich guys who's like on city council or whatever is one of the important sort of like oligarchs of New York. He's kind of like the more liberal one. You know what I mean? Like he's for the poor and he's for the Irish to an extent and stuff like that. And then the draft riots break out. He's like trying to get it. He's like, the rats have taken over the city. It just all fades away. It's like, yeah, he's a rich guy.
Us poor peasants just bleeding out in the streets.
I mean, I don't think the draft riots were justified. So,
What?
fuck them.
So you're saying justified police shooting?
Yeah, justified police shooting. Yeah, the New York draft, the entire New York draft riot was a justified police shooting.
That's a take.
I'm sticking by it.
Again, if that happened today,
Yeah, I
it
get
might end the country.
I get it. I guess it depends on what they're doing. Like if it's a roving gang of people going around murdering dozens of people, the police fire, I don't know. I'd have to like see the facts, but the fact that all they ever do is roll in there with pepper balls and tear gas is quite a step up.
120 people died.
In the draft riots?
And they have 2,000 injured, at least 120 dead.
The soldiers didn't kill 120 people. The mob was killing people too.
It was every man for himself situation.
They were just they were like just going after people they didn't like. They were killing, they were literally targeting black people because they were mad that they had to go fight on behalf of black people. Like that mob was going around murdering fucking black dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it wasn't just like the soldiers came in and killed 120 people. They weren't marching with signs like, hey, hey, ho, ho, I don't want to go. And then some fucking colonel in New York is just like, kill them. No, like they were fucking slaughtering people. It was a mess.
The authorities arrested Leven for inciting a riot and treason. In September, the nativists nominated Leven for Pennsylvania's first congressional district, which included Southwark.
With the pending treason charges, or?
Yeah. Some Democratic critics resorted to anti-Semitism, but nativists stayed loyal, and on October 8th, Leven won the seat.
Yeah, what the fuck? This foreign religion is coming in and ruining our country? I'm sorry. No. Let me go back even further. This foreign immigrant religion is ruining our country. He's a goddamn immigrant Jew.
Yeah, he was born in South Carolina, bro. His parents were immigrants.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
But also the good immigrants are from England.
Yeah. From the good place. Like, fucking, come on, man.
At the time of the election, the charges of the riot and treason were still pending, and 4 days later, Leven was officially indicted.
Okay. Now, is he sworn in yet, or is he just waiting to get into Congress still?
He's still waiting.
Okay, so he's got to just deal with this little trial.
But he claimed the indictment as evidence of yet another Catholic plot.
Yeah.
And eventually, prosecutors dropped the charges.
Were they like, oh, shit, he figured it out?
He gets away with so much. It's crazy.
What hasn't he gotten away with? He's gotten away with everything.
Yeah.
The only thing he didn't get away with was that duel he challenged a guy to and lost.
Also, I couldn't verify this, but there are rumors that his second for the duel was one Jefferson Davis.
Was that the duel was in Mississippi?
Yeah.
Maybe. Is Jeff Davis from Mississippi?
I couldn't confirm it. That's why I didn't add it into
Yeah.
the story when we talked about it, but there are some write-ins out there that say Louis Charles Levin's second for that duel was Jefferson Davis.
That's fucking awesome. Especially imagining Jefferson Davis just being like, all right, Charles. All right, Levin. I will back you in this duel. What are your weapons? A rifle? But why? Will you be, what distance? 10 paces? Good Lord. If you lose that coin toss.
I wish there was so much more information on that duel because it sounds awesome.
You got to think, too, he gets shot, and Jefferson Davis is just like, oh, my God. Oh, it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Levin served 3 terms in the House, but he achieved very little. He never came close to getting enough votes for his signature issue, extending the naturalization period from 5 to 21 years.
Well, I guess it eventually got extended.
He also pushed keeping immigrants out of new army regiments and opposed the establishment of diplomatic relations with the Papal States.
We hadn't?
I guess not.
That's really funny.
Probably didn't think of it.
Yeah, I mean, what are they? What are you doing even? It's just like a little city over there. So he gets into Congress either right before or during the Mexican War, and one of his personal like baby issues is I would like less troops. What a congressman.
What a guy.
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah, think of all the Irishmen that died in the Civil War.
a shit ton.
Most of them.
But there were also a lot of Irish in the Mexican War.
Yeah.
Because we were coming over then too. And what's funny too is maybe he didn't trust the Irish.
And we almost took Canada.
God damn, I know. Maybe he didn't trust the Irish because we were going up against a Catholic nation, and he thought that we'd sell them out.
The Mexicans.
If there's ever any proof you needed that the papacy has no global control, a bunch of Irish Catholics joined the army in the 1840s and had no issue conquering half of a gigantic Catholic nation for a Protestant nation. That's real 40 chess by the Pope.
Never let them know your next move. Keep them off your scent.
Yeah. The papacy wanted that giant Catholic empire to die.
We're running back beef with the Pope.
I've heard that. This is like unconfirmed, but I've heard that.
And he's
like,
from Chicago.
Hegseth's personal like preacher, because he's kind of born again, is very hard. Like he's kind of like
He's anti-Catholic.
yeah, he's anti-Catholic.
Hit them notes, baby.
I have heard that.
Play the hits.
Yeah, I can't confirm that, but it feels like it tracks. And also, man,
Doesn't he have a Crusader tattoo?
He does, because they want to LARP with all our cool shit. Right? They want to act like they're a Knight Templar or some bullshit, fucking Baldwin LARPer motherfuckers.
Not like us.
Not like us. And then this isn't even political, but I feel this way about...
No, we're gatekeeping Catholicism.
I feel this way about all Catholic converts. J.D. Vance can just shut the fuck up. Dog. Just shut the fuck up. This isn't political. This is Catholic. Shut the fuck up, you fucking convert. You fucking pledge. Shut the fuck up.
You a fake, you a fake, you a fake.
He not like us.
But he lacked any real power. When reelected in 1846, he became the only nativist left in Congress. He was also, I believe, the second Jewish man to ever serve in the U.S. Congress. Not the first, though.
It'd be funny if he was very... I want like all the... And we can't do it for some, but I want all the like as many boxes checked as possible for like inclusion and diversity, done so in the worst way possible.
Yes.
Like I would love...
Like they never want to claim the person that represents them. Like Buchanan being the first gay president.
Right. No one wants James Buchanan. He was the first gay president, and you need to own that. I was really, for a time, rooting for Nikki Haley to become president, for the first woman of color to be a Republican, because no one would be excited about that.
Oh, the first woman president is going to be a Republican.
Almost certainly. Almost certainly. I can't wait. And then again, in 28, we might have our first Latino president.
Because Trump has the first female chief of staff, right?
Probably.
That was a smooth play by him.
Susie Wiles.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a fucking killer.
I know.
She's the smartest person in the White House by far. She's legit. Like whether you agree with her or not, she's fucking.
But that was definitely a savvy play by him.
Oh, it's so funny. Not a single article about that.
No.
And then like Rubio might be president in 28, so you get your first Latino president.
All Republican, dude.
Yeah. I want it checked. I just those boxes getting checked, and I hope they do all get checked, but I just kind of want it checked in the worst way possible.
In the worst way possible, because it's just funny.
It's just hilarious. I want, like, is Gina Carano a lesbian? Can we get Gina Carano to be the first female president?
Not a lesbian.
Okay.
No. But she's fighting again.
That's great.
In 1848, he had to run as a fusion candidate with the Whig Party, something he vowed to never do. After leaving Congress in 1851, Leven continued to campaign for the Native Americans, or what is now known as the Know Nothing movement. He attempted to campaign for U.S. Senator. That fails. Leven and other nativists helped tilt the 1852 presidential election toward Democrat Franklin Pierce and away from the Whigs candidate, the popular Mexican-American War leader, General Winfield Scott.
Yeah, and that killed the Whigs. The Whig Party died after that. And
so he did accomplish some things, including kind of turning the tide for this 52 election.
I would have to go back and look, but my instinct tells me that might actually just low-key be one of the bigger upsets in presidential election history, because Winfield Scott...
And the reason he loses is because there's Catholics in Scott's family, and he was accused of papist connections.
Dude, that is the,
war hero. Should have been a landslide victory.
War hero in two different wars, in 1812 and the Mexican War. And by the way, war hero later in the Civil War as well.
Left out of the White House because papist connections.
It is crazy how, Abraham Lincoln got elected and everyone thought he was going to abolish slavery, and that was less controversial than just being Catholic.
Every time we have a Catholic man in office now, it's one term.
We've never, in fact, two different Catholics have been elected, but Catholics have served less time as president than a black guy has.
Total.
Yeah.
Kennedy didn't make it.
Nope.
They killed him for it. And they might have killed Biden. He might be a clone. Who knows? I'll go with that. If it kind of pushes our pro-Catholic agenda.
I think just being president killed him.
Yeah. Just short-circuited.
Yeah.
In 1855, he failed to win elections as U.S. Senator despite bribing members of the Pennsylvania Assembly and was subpoenaed by a state investigation in February of 1855.
I assume nothing came of it.
Yeah, nothing did.
Yeah, why? You're not getting this guy in anything.
In 1856, the Know Nothings nominated former President Millard Fillmore for the presidency. Leven supported the idea, but he opposed an alliance with the Republican Party. When he rented a hall to make his case, the crowd booed him off stage. As he was shoved out of the building, Leven waved his hat as a farewell. And that was the end of his political career.
He knew it was time to retire. Yeah, he did. I'm not surprised they didn't want to ally with the Republicans. The initial Republican Party was the woke party, the liberal party. Nobody wants to admit this. Everyone's it's a lot of...
No, they always say the party's flipped.
They did.
Which is true, but you have to give the Republican Party credit for what it did in the 1800s.
I don't disagree.
2 weeks later, a policeman escorted Leven to the Pennsylvania hospital for the insane.
What? Wait, what? He just was like, all right, I guess I'm out. Guess you don't want me anymore. At 2 weeks, he's getting jailed for being insane?
Yep. He went to the loony bin.
What happened? What happened? Did they find out he was Jewish?
Well, he was released and returned back to South Carolina, but was soon deemed very dangerous and unmanageable and sent back to the mental institute, where he died March 14th, 1860.
Oh, he never. Can you imagine the hay he would have made out of the Civil War?
Yeah, I think he chooses the side with the least amount of Irish.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So the South?
Yeah, he's going south. He's a Southerner. He's a Southerner.
At heart. Served PA for some reason.
Yeah.
How did we allow that? I'm ashamed of my people.
You were putting a lot of shitty people in office. I mean, Buchanan's your guy.
Yeah.
Is he the only president from...
Pennsylvania? Technically, Biden is.
Okay, yeah.
Biden's from Scranton.
Yeah.
So, not the best.
It's
local PA.
underwhelming.
It is.
If
we got Joe like 12 years before that, maybe it would have been better.
Oh, yeah.
Much better.
Yeah.
When he was kind of like swaggy.
Spry
in the
Joe.
80s.
When Jason Sudeikis was playing him on Saturday Night Live as like a dude in aviators. Yeah. Yeah. We got Truman. I'm happy with our prez. We'll never have another one, but.
And yeah, that is the story of Louis Charles Levin. Thanks to the Discord member MWM5367, which just we gotta change your Discord name, guy. That sounds fake.
Yeah,
sounds like a bot. Just change it up a bit. But yeah, we have a Discord for our Patreon, and you can recommend some topics when you're in there. So that's a little plug for the Patreon.
Yeah, patreon.com/softcorehistory. And you can join
It's
our
a very
Discord.
active Discord, too.
It is. It is. Honestly, whenever I open it, it's like fucking 30 missed messages.
But yeah, Louis Charles Levin, the man that more or less kind of put the stink on Irish Catholics.
Oh, no. He just took advantage of the stink that was already there.
I know it was already there, but he really solidified it.
Yeah, he made it.
Responsible for some deaths. Had some blood on his hands.
Absolutely had some blood on his hands. Also, honestly, I might be angriest at him for keeping Winfield Scott out of fucking office.
Does anything change if Scott gets in?
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Do we push the Civil War further back?
So Pierce, I think, was president for like the Missouri... No, not the Missouri Compromise. Whatever compromise was in 1854. I think the Missouri Compromise was in the 20s. It was the last compromise.
The Kansas-Nebraska territories. Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854.
He oversaw that disaster. But there was one last compromise before the Civil War, and I think it was under Pierce. Although I will say, it actually probably, in the long run, it was almost like divine intervention that Winfield Scott did not get the presidency because he stayed in the military, right? And then he was in charge of the whole military when the Civil War broke out. He was the mastermind of the Anaconda Plan.
Anaconda Plan.
So, if we don't have him in there, and he was the one that was like, get Lee. Lee's got to command the Union Army. If we don't have Scott in there, things could go pretty bad. So, might have been for the best for the country, honestly.
Yeah, I think the Civil War probably still eventually happens.
Oh, almost certainly. But it had to happen the exact way it happened, right? It's like fucking Doctor Strange and Avengers. How many do we win? 1.
It's the only way it happens.
Yeah.
No, I think the North still wins.
I think we still roll no matter what, yeah.
I think we had quite the advantage with logistics.
We did, but it took a minute to get up. And
manufacturing.
Yeah, it just took a minute to get up and running.
Yeah, they had better leadership, certainly.
In the early days, on the battlefield, no question.
Yeah, we didn't find our guy until Grant came stumbling in.
Yeah, after Gettysburg, after the halfway point.
He was just out in the West, being wasted.
Well, he was smacking him down.
He was cutting his teeth, yeah.
Yeah. So.
What'd you learn today?
I mean, all of this, I didn't know anything about this guy. I learned that, kind of what I already knew. It's like every time I hear people talk shit on immigrants or religions or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I heard that before about my own ancestors. So, cool.
Hey, man, we walked.
Yeah,
so
not to say, fly. It's not to don't call me open borders Bobby here, but I'm just it's just it is just funny to like hear the things I hear today and be like, I mean, there's no difference. Like, at least get a different script.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my biggest problem. It's bad IP.
They're just kind of filling in blanks.
Yeah.
Who is today's Hitler?
The Jewish guy, I guess.
The guy that we did the episode on?
Yeah. He's a piece of shit.
Oh, so you're saying the Jewish man is today's Hitler.
Yes,
That's
Leven
ironic.
is the worst.
Also, if you want to get conspiratorial, another Jew mingling, causing issues in the country.
Right in front of our eyes the whole time. Who was actually sowing discord?
Yeah.
The Irish? The Catholics?
Or this one Jewish man that pretended to be Protestant.
Right. Now, was he connected to a vast network of Jews? No. He was just a dick, but...
We don't know that. The network was in South Carolina.
The Charleston Jews.
The Charleston Jewish Network.
I gotta say, if there's one place I would never think to look for the Illuminati,
It's the South.
it's Charleston, South Carolina.
You go a little further south, I would think Boca.
Right? But those are all just the New York Jews.
Yeah. The snowbirds.
And they're just, they're not doing anything. They're just complaining and playing shuffleboard.
But yeah, thought this guy was interesting. Thought he was a funny guy
Yeah, absolutely.
to cover. He was just a hothead, got into some crazy situations, and then just kind of dipped whenever things got too hot on the block.
I wonder what he thought about like Andrew Jackson. Because Andrew Jackson when president kind of like and if he's like a South Carolina guy, he seems like he'd be a big Calhoun guy.
Yeah. And I mean, the one dude from the Confederacy said he was one of the most captivating, speakers of his time.
Yeah.
Including Calhoun and Clay.
Which is crazy. That's high praise.
It's high praise.
Calhoun is a dick, but he got people's attention.
Anyway, that's our episode for today. Make sure to check out the Patreon. Again, patreon.com/softwarehistory, where you get an episode like this on Wednesday and Friday. So 2 new episodes like this on the lower tier. We also do a sports show, and I give out gambling golf picks on the upper tier. We have a sports tier. Make sure to leave a review, 5 stars, please, and thank you, on Apple and Spotify. Leave one on Apple, we'll read it. You can leave comments on the episode as well on Spotify. That I'm sure that helps.
I try
in
to
some capacity.
I try to reply to comments on Spotify.
Leave comments on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Watch YouTube. Leave it on for the dog.
That's what we always say. You don't have to watch us. Just subscribe and leave it playing for the dog when you go to work or go out to dinner. We got a lot of playlists.
Keep the playlist going.
Yeah.
But that's our episode today. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you come back next week. For Rob Fox, I'm Dan Regester. And we're just 2 Irish Catholics that soft served you.
Mm-hmm.